you guys, and welcome back to the Culture and the Cross podcast, where we talk the happenings going on in our church, the Rock Church in Raleigh, North Carolina, the funny things that we see on social media, and then, of course, a wonderful refresh of the word that was taught on Sunday. And we're your hosts. I'm Artra.
I'm Corey.
Yes, so let's dive right into the happenings. So, on Sunday, all of the ladies, we got together. We have a lady, I don't know if we talked about how, over the summer, the ladies were kind of showcasing our talents and skills.
Yeah.
So I did candle making. A lady on Sunday decided to showcase her cooking skills. And so she taught us how to make macaroni and cheese. And, people have all these different ways of making it. But my God, that was the best macaroni and cheese I have ever had in my life.
Right.
And she was detailing to me how to do it, but you also know it's good because I was asking her measurements and she was like, I don't know.
Oh, she's man.
And I was like, what do you mean? I want to make this for my husband. And she's like, I just feel it. You gotta feel it. And I was like, I don't know how to. But it was so good.
That's amazing.
It was so good.
From the picture you showed me, it looked delicious. I saw the little burnt just slightly on the top, the little crust. I said, I know that's good.
It was so good.
Know. If it's all too mushy on the top, I don't know. But when you get that crust, that's delicious.
Yeah, and it had a slight crustiness to it. I've never had that on mac and cheese before, and it was so good. She made homemade cheese sauce first, and then did the macaroni part. With all these different cheeses that I was like, what?
That's amazing.
It was good. I wish you could have been there. Well,
it was a ladies thing.
It was a ladies thing, but
I wish I could have been there too, though. I could at least got a plate.
I should have brought. There was none to bring home.
Y'all destroyed that.
We destroyed it, and then had some chicken wings, and one of the other ladies made all these different dips to go with the wings.
Oh, nice. Okay.
My God.
Man.
It was a feast,
well,
and it was so good.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
It was the best time. It's so nice to get to know the ladies and kind of, iron sharpens iron and get to know each other. And sometimes too, you may not want to talk to the pastor about things, but if you have found someone that you have commonalities with and you realize oh, you've gone through that, I can just talk to you about it. Right. So, and I like that we're starting to do that. So.
I think it's great. That was the whole point of this whole summer.
Yeah.
Is to have more times for fellowship, hanging out. The guys hanging out. We're going to hang out again next month.
Yeah.
So I think it's been great. So that's good. The ladies hanging out, fellowshipping.
Yeah. I don't know what we're doing next month, but I want to see what the ladies what skills. Who else has some skills they want to share with us?
I know the guys have been talking about going fishing.
Oh yeah.
I was thinking about it yesterday, and but I've never been fishing, so I don't know anything about fishing. I don't have any equipment. I don't have a fishing rod. I don't have no gear.
Well, the guys can show you if they're suggesting it.
I think it's a couple guys that have been fishing, but we might have
you.
to do something like that. I don't know anything, so I would just be out there to learn and just.
Yeah, but you're really you pick up things quickly.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it ain't rocket science per se, but if I've never done it, I'm I don't know.
Yeah, but I think once they show it to you one time, knowing you're gonna pick it up quickly and
well, nice,
keep going.
Nice.
But
good. That sounds like fun. So, ladies thing this weekend, we had awesome service. Let me tell you about service on Sunday.
It was great.
It was amazing. God really met us, man, just during our praise and worship time, which was phenomenal. And so even to the point where our drummer, he has to leave after praise and worship. Yeah. And I was not looking over at him hey man, you gotta go, man. Go, just go. It's okay. I know you gotta leave. It's all right. But he was just looking nah. I saw him there with his head down at one point. I said, well, man, he in worship, man. So it was amazing, man. Awesome, man.
Yeah,
just
it was
altar,
great.
Man, people getting prayed for.
Yeah.
And it was just awesome. And one of the things I thought about was just, there have been times in the past when that's happened where I didn't even preach. I just decided, you know what? Let's just dismiss everybody early. But I still went into the word, and this is why. I went into the word because one of the things I've been thinking about is I've been God, increase our capacity as a church, to where we can worship for a long time and we still have the spiritual strength, the focus, the fortitude to still receive the word after that as well.
Yeah.
And there are sometimes where God moves in the service where you don't need to preach, and there's no point trying to force that. And I've done that before, and we'll do that still. But there are other times where it's I've been praying, God, increase our capacity to where we not wore out after an hour of worship. We're not we got to go home, we through. It's that's good, but then also increase our spiritual stamina to where we can worship for longer. Right.
Yeah.
We can
I love when we worship.
Longer. Yeah. And I love it. Like I'll honestly, if he didn't have to leave at some point, we might have just continued. But once he kind of really did have to, I was like, well, we're going. But I've been just praying God increase our capacity as a church. And I think I've seen it happen over the course. And we've always done praise and worship kind of longer than, we always do praise and worship for like a good 30 minutes. Like we don't never be short. But this time, it was 10 minutes to 11 before I even got, I don't know, it was almost 11 o'clock before I got up to preach.
Yeah.
Like, and that's rare that I don't get up to preach before like 10:45. Like, that's rare.
I love all the like old school medleys that you went into.
We went to some old joint, I can't remember, Praise Is What I Do, that old William Murphy song. We went, there's another hymn that we did. Praise and praise Jesus, blessed Savior. That whole piece, I was like, man, we're in the weeds right now.
I played that song the other day for Ezra to wake him up.
Oh, really? He don't know nothing about that. From the rising, they don't know nothing about that.
Yeah, well, that's how I woke him up. I was like playing the song and singing it to him. Well, I mean, the normal song I sing, I think that it bothers
he probably don't like that.
What's the one that I normally sing?
I don't even know.
I don't know.
Well, we went into some old school.
This Is the Day is the one I normally sing to him.
He don't want to hear that. Well, we went into the throwback, man, and I love that and I was playing too, so I know when I know a song and I don't. And I was in a good key to where I knew I knew the songs well enough to get through them, but I was just like, well, we can just sing it. But it took me back to my roots, like, and people don't necessarily always know this, but I grew up, in the Church of God in Christ, largest Black denomination in the world, I believe at this point. So I grew up in the Church of God in Christ. So I grew up with all these old traditional gospel songs. Like that's what I grew up hearing. Like even my dad, who's pastor now, he will still sing a lot of these songs that are very traditional Black songs. Like, so I grew up hearing that stuff. And so for our church, when people come to our church, you may not necessarily know that because our church is not necessarily traditional in that way, and that's okay. That's not necessarily our flow. That's not how praise and worship is for us. But there are times where we can go into that, just because that's just a part of kind of how I came up. So I thought it was really great, and I think always the good thing about you doing those old songs, you're able to kind of bring in just the older generation. We have some older people, not old, but some older people in our church that it's like, man, that's a throwback to like, man, when I was growing up. And I'm like, hey, we got you. We throw it in there for you.
We talked about it at the ladies thing, and they were like, whoa, we didn't know that, Pastor Corey knew those songs. And I was like, Pastor Corey old, bro.
And I've been in church almost my entire life. And grew up sleeping on the pews. Yes. Like, I know them songs. So it was a great moment of just all of it. I mean, it was new songs, it was prophetic songs, it was old songs. It was just beautiful.
Yeah, worship was wonderful.
It was just wonderful,
Sunday.
man. So I love those moments, and just shout out to The Rock, man. Just
shout
leaning
out
into
to
that.
The Rock.
I don't know if did we go into any prophetic songs. Now I think I said that. I'm like, I don't know if we did. Some spontaneous. I don't know. It was amazing.
I think we did for a small second.
Yeah. It was phenomenal. It was phenomenal.
It was great.
So yeah, man. So
I hope
that's that.
I hope we can worship like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's progress for us as a new church,
I
laying
agree.
a foundation of a church that's sensitive to the Spirit, I think it's great. So
yes. Okay.
I got a jingle today.
Oh, okay.
You all right?
I was so excited.
I ain't tell her I had a jingle. I was like, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, because I was like, am I gonna jingle today?
Okay, no, I got a jingle. Need some water.
I didn't mean to snort.
I got the jingle today. I see. On social media. That's it, man.
That sounds
Saw a
like
new
back
jingle.
in the day, like those old
We talking about old school songs.
Smooth jazz.
Right,
Smooth jazz. 105.9.
I see on social media 105 smooth jazz on the midnight hour. That's what we should have did.
Okay, well,
that's really funny.
Thanks for providing the jingle.
See, I can play along, a little bit, something.
Oh, wow.
So, as seen on social media.
As seen on social media. Okay. So, what I have been seeing is that this lady, I don't know where she is probably New York or something. But she creates wigs.
Okay.
But guess how much they are? $10,000.
That's
They're
crazy.
$10,000 wigs. And so when I was like looking at it, because she also has a video explaining like the wig, and like what is she doing and all this, and I was like, oh yeah, let me watch that, because I'm like, oh, a $10,000 wig, that means it must be like specifically fitted for that person's head.
Yeah,
girl, that must be like a full like lace bust down. Like I know that looks so
that's
good.
Look like your real hair.
I'm positive like when you part it, it's scalp. Like you know, I was like, that's gonna be a good wig.
Right.
So she's explaining it, and like, guys, it's not even a full lace wig. It's not a full lace. It's not like fitted for like your head.
Right.
And like, you can't like fully part it. Like it just looks like it's giving like kind of struggle.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah.
I don't know. $10 grand.
So I mean, as someone who obviously I don't know much about wigs, I mean, how much is a good wig really supposed to cost? Like a good wig, you know?
I think they can cost like a couple $100.
Okay.
But like,
I saw some comments on the video you sent me that maybe up to $1,000.
Yes, maybe? They can for a really good one. Yeah.
Okay. So a really good wig could be $1,000.
It could be.
Like if you're getting a legit.
Yes.
You know, this is a high quality wig. But
10
grand.
10 grand.
And so I saw the video.
Okay.
And when I saw the first video, I was like, 10 grand.
Did it look like 10 grand to you?
Oh, it looked like, now I don't wear wigs, but I'm like, okay, 400-500, 6, okay, maybe 7. And then I saw some comments, people saying, okay, maybe 1,000 if you really get something.
Maybe 1,000.
You know, that's legit. Even I saw one comment, lady was like, yeah, I got a custom wig, like legit, and it was 2 grand. I'm like, you do custom things, but the 10 seems like a reach. And when I saw from people comment, it seemed like everyone was like,
what?
Yeah, for 10 grand, it needs to come out of this should just be my hair. I mean,
for 10 grand,
just replace my whole head. Just
for
replace
10
everything.
Grand, if I don't want to have to take the wig off.
Right.
And she was saying though, like
you gonna come to my house every day and do my hair for 10 grand.
Right. And then you're gonna
do it.
Exactly. But she was even saying in the video that like when you go swimming, you gotta like take it off. No, baby. For 10 grand, this is my hair. I'm swimming I need to be able to swim in it.
Right.
I need to be able to like do whatever I'm doing.
Can you swim in wigs?
I think you can.
Oh, okay.
But most people who have a wig, I don't think they just be in a pool like.
Probably not though.
I mean, I wouldn't.
But for 10 G's though,
in my nice lace,
I need Michael Phelps.
If I have a nice lace, I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna do
thing.
that. No, but for 10 grand, I need to be able to.
For 10
and
grand.
then if I take it off, it needs to be like Cinderella's glass slipper. Like it can't fit nobody else's head. It's for my
molded
head.
To your dome piece.
And if I want to part it straight up in the back and move, like it needs to be. I need you guys. I need it to look like my legit scalp. I need crazy. No one to know that like this is a wig. It needs to literally look like a scalp.
Yeah, that I didn't, and when I thought, I was like, well, wigs don't cost 10 G's.
Not 10.
10 G's.
Not 10.
And then the lady was like, yeah, we do wigs for Naomi Campbell.
Oh!
I was like, Naomi Campbell? Like,
she's not one that I looked at her wig and was like, that's it.
Yeah, like
have you seen her hair?
I haven't seen her hair in recent times. But even just Naomi Campbell, I'm like, well, I don't really hear much about Naomi Campbell being like a wig. You know, like that's somebody
she's not somebody
if she was like, I do wigs for Kim Kardashian or something like, or I would be like, well, maybe Kim probably pay you 10 grand for a wig. I mean, maybe, but
no, if she said I do wigs for Beyonce,
right?
Then I'd be like,
and I'm like, I mean, 10 grand is still steep. Maybe we need to be at like 4.
I do wigs for Rihanna.
Right, but I'm like, well, Naomi Campbell, yes, famous, obviously, you know, her you know, but I'm like, you know, dang, I mean, that's not right now. She ain't like, you know,
Naomi's hair is not.
Yeah, but I'm like, yeah, if you was like, oh, I do wigs for Beyonce, like for you remember her last tour, yeah, them wigs, I did those. Okay, maybe you're probably charging 4. You know what I mean? You might be 3.
Right.
But
I do Meg the Stallion's hair.
Right, somebody who's like a current like mega star for that amount of money.
Their hair looks good.
Yeah, right.
It looks really good.
10 G's.
And I mean, maybe I don't know what they paid
I feel like for 10 G's. So
what would you do if I came home and was like, look at my wig, babe, 10 G's for this?
Well, one minute, where you get the 10 grand from? What account would we take that out of? Because I need to know. But no, I would be like, so for 10 grand, so it's molded to your head. She's gonna show up every morning to now style you and prep every single day and give you. She's gonna give you scalp massages every single morning, and then at night she's gonna wrap it and then lay it and come back. So she's gonna live next door for for the next 6, 8 to 10 months.
No.
And then she's gonna now work your scalp every single day to make sure that it's ready for the wig. She's gonna put in every single day. That's what
she's
I'm
gonna put gloved.
Right, she's gonna come in
with the gloves on.
Like she
the white gloves.
Like she handling a Hope Diamond. She gonna come in here with the gloves on, like because I'm like, wait a minute, that's crazy.
She said that you can't glue them to your scalp either.
So it's just on and on.
It's just on. So if I want to just.
So, but this my thing.
They can't get in a convertible car.
Yeah. But then my thing, it must be somebody paying for these wigs.
Oh yeah, there's. Well, you know who's paying for them.
Who paying for Martra? No, I mean, somebody's paying for these. Listen, somebody paying for everything. I mean, let's be honest. Everything's on the market for a reason. Somebody's paying for it.
What I have learned in business is that not everybody is broke.
That's absolutely true. Yes, yes. So there's a market.
And if you are marketing your stuff right, it don't matter.
But I do feel like it is overpriced a bit. But maybe to her, she's like, "That's why I'm not talking to you.
You're not my audience.
You got a ball fade. That's why I'm not talking to you."
I'm not talking about you.
I mean, maybe, but it seems a little steep. You know.
Yeah, I saw that she had one client who was like a black woman, and I was like, you want your hair to look like that? But then I said, well,
but okay. Maybe she does.
Maybe she does,
and we gotta be okay with that.
That's fine.
That's funny. Well, that's honey, fine. Please don't show up with no 10 grand.
I'm gonna get it,
man, because
I'm gonna get the wig.
Now, Rock Church, if your wig costs 10 G's. You do you. We can send you the lady's information if you want the 10 grand wig. So I'm hoping, but if you got 10 grand for the wig, I got a better investment for you.
I want the wig to basically become my head for 10 G's.
The wig should talk for 10 grand.
It should curl itself. It didn't even curl. The hair didn't even curl. She was like, and then you can style it. And like she brought out this curling iron to curl the hair.
Oh, I saw that part.
It didn't curl.
It's still laid.
It just laid.
Man, that's kind of crazy.
It didn't even curl.
Well, we're not getting no 10 grand wigs.
I'm gonna get it. No. You'll see me at church.
Oh,
I'm gonna be swinging my hair with my 10 grand.
We are not getting the 10 grand wigs.
And I'm never gonna take it off. It's gonna become a permanent part of my body.
No. Because you get that, you gotta live in that. You gotta live in the wig.
That's what I'm saying. It's gonna become a part of me.
You gotta drive the wig. It's a car.
We eating the wig. We driving the wig.
The wig gotta make money for us, man. That's an investment. You gotta be getting like we can't stay. We gotta move on from the wig, y'all. We can't talk about the wig. Cause I'm like, you gotta be about to get into a role. Like if you wear this wig, you gonna make 500 grand. You gonna make 100 grand back if you.
But what kind of role is that? I don't want
Beyonce's movies. I don't know. A movie with Tom Cruise. That new Denzel joint, Gladiator 2.
Oh, we should go see that.
I know, right? All right.
Okay.
Now, moving on to the next. I don't really do the transition, so I'm like moving on, like we, Do
you want me to transition us with a jingle?
No. So now for our refresh, enough wig talk. No wigs in the house of God. No, I'm just joking. No, your wigs. It's okay. So this
good wig looks really nice.
Good wig, you couldn't even tell.
I know.
You can't tell if it's a wig.
I know. I've had my share of struggle wigs, so.
Thank God I'm glad to be a man. Glad that I can show up at the barbershop, get me a haircut. Don't need that for right now.
When I used to have my hair, that was the best time.
I know.
Having my hair cut off.
It's easy.
Being bald, that was great. Okay, but anyway, to the word.
All right, for our refresh for Sunday. So yes. I was back to preaching on Sunday. Actually, I hadn't preached in a few weeks, so 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
It's been a little bit.
So I was back to preaching on Sunday. So after phenomenal praise and worship, we got into the word. And so I did something Sunday that I've done before a couple times. Well, maybe like 2 or 3 times, but I just didn't say I did it. But this Sunday I did what's called a rewind. And I got this idea from another pastor. We were talking on a group of pastors. And he was like, sometimes in the summer, do a rewind. Like take a message that maybe you did earlier in the year that was really good or maybe impactful. preach it again, And sometimes, I don't know if you don't know this, if you don't preach regularly, if you never pastor, you may think that every message that someone preaches is always one original. People be plagiarizing other people's messages. I don't do that. And if I preach somebody else's message, I'm gonna say at the beginning, this is from my pastor, Pastor Myron. This is from TD Jakes. This is from Creflo Dollar. This is from whomever. This is from somebody. If I plagiarize somebody's message, I'm gonna tell you I'm preaching this message because I saw TD Jakes preach it and I liked it. I saw my pastor preach it. He had a great idea, and I've mentioned things that people have said, and I'm like, yo, it sparked an idea for me. Yeah. So that happens, but then also too, as much as I like to think that everybody remembers everything I preach every week, man, listen, if I ask you right now, Rock Church, if I ask you what did I preach in January, I would be surprised at how many people actually know what I preached in January.
No,
right?
They don't remember.
And so we did a rewind.
Okay.
And for this, I didn't do a rewind from earlier this year. I did a rewind for something I preached 2 years ago, actually. And it was a message about money called Trust and Treasures. So I'm doing kind of a mini series on money right now.
Is that what you called it in January? That's not what you called it in January.
No, when I preached it a couple years ago, I called it Trust and Treasures. It was the same. I used the same title and the same text and the same message points. And preached the same message. But, it was good because honestly, and I looked around, I was like, half of the people in this room weren't even here at this church when I preached this. Weren't. So it's a few people. I think you remembered the message. Your mom probably remembered it because she's good.
She's got a good memory when it comes to the word.
So it was from 1 Timothy chapter number 6, verse 17 and 18. 17 and 19. It says this.
Read.
It says, teach those who are rich in this world not to be proud and not to trust in their money, which is so unreliable. Their trust should be in God, who richly gives us all we need for our enjoyment. That's just the first verse, 17. And one of the things that we leaned on really heavy in the very beginning of that was just, I love the first part of that verse because it says, teach those who are rich in this world. And one of the things we talked about that's really important is that a lot of times we read that verse and we think that it's talking about somebody else. That's not us.
Yes.
And here in the United States of America, where we have a lot of amenities, we have access to a lot of technology. We have a lot of people that some people are doing bad, but a lot of people are doing decent, or bills are paid, have your lights, you got running water. When we compare it to some other places in our world, we are actually considered the rich in a lot of places. And there are a lot of things that we do and a lot of ways that we live that some people around the world, not everywhere is a third world country, but there are some people that would love to have the things that we consider are normal.
Right.
And not even just around the world, but even if you just go and get out of your neighborhood for a second and go and visit some other places, some other neighborhoods, some other parts of the country, some other, even in our own city, parts of our own city, you would see, I know we went and served at a shelter a couple months ago, and you will see, not everybody has a house to live in, or just not even a house, a roof over their head. Right. Lights that are on, food that is literally in the refrigerator, a car to drive. And so when we say teach those who are rich in this world, I really tried to approach the message from the perspective that you are rich.
Yeah.
You are the rich that Paul is talking to. You are the rich. Your nice car, I know you drive a Toyota. That's a nice car you got. That's a car that someone else doesn't have, right? I know we just, I joke about making trips to Chick-fil-A, right? But it's like there's some people, they can't afford to go to Chick-fil-A twice a week like you do.
They cannot.
They literally have to, if they don't take their lunch to work, they ain't got no money to get nothing else, And I think that sometimes especially in predominantly black churches, which ours is just by the demographic of our church, predominantly black, and just in black culture, we tend to treat all black people like we're all struggling. And it's kind of this, I'm coming up on the rough side of the mountain, and it's kind of that thought process. And I really wanted to push back against that because not everybody, especially in the black community, everybody's not broken, tore up, and barely making it. There's some people that are struggling, but some people that are doing well. And I think that I wanted to approach it, especially for our church, to preach to us, where we have a lot of people in our church who are working good jobs, that are, working businesses, that are executives at their jobs, that are doing well. It's like, no, we are the rich that Paul is talking about. And I'm going to stop treating us like we're broke. I'm going to stop treating us and preaching to us like we're all barely making it, because we're not all barely making it. No. There are some that are doing very well, and some that have their struggles, and we understand that. But it's not even so much about their dollar amount, more so than the mindset. You are the rich. You are the wealthy. You are the one with more than enough. And the admonishments from Paul in this passage are, teach those just like you and me. Don't trust in your money. No matter if you got 5 or 50 or 5,000 or 5 million, don't trust in money because it's unreliable, as he says.
Yes. I actually it was a couple months ago. Craig Rochelle basically had that same type of message about, even though sometimes your situation may not look good, but you are the rich. It's always sometimes about like your mindset.
Yeah. That's really what it is more than anything, the mindset.
Yeah, he does a lot of teaching about mindset.
Absolutely.
So I think he even probably came from the same scripture about.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't get this from Pastor Rochelle.
No, you didn't. You didn't get it from him.
See, Archer tried to blow me up. Yeah, I think he preached the same scripture, bro, with the same title. Now you think about it. That's
but his was not talking about like money.
Yeah.
His was really, because he talks a lot about your mindset.
He does. Yeah.
So his was more so about the mindset.
Yeah. Yeah. And it is a mindset. And
like changing how you view.
Yeah. And I like what Paul says. He says, teach those who are rich in this world not to be proud and not to trust in their money. And one of the things that's so funny is that money, man, money, as we know, money is amoral. Money is aspiritual. Money in and of itself is not good or bad. Right. Money is not holy or unholy. Money is money.
It is.
And in this world in particular, money is a tool. Money is something that we all need. We all use it every single day. We all check your accounts, your investments, all these things. We all need it. It's just how we transact business and how we exchange for goods and all those things. So we all need it. So that's the best thing. Money in and of itself is not bad, good. Money is just money. And earlier in the passage, even I believe it's in this chapter where he says, where it talks about, I think it's in 1 Timothy 6, if I'm not mistaken. I'm looking, but I can't find it.
What are you looking for?
Where it says that it is the love of money that's the root of all evil.
Yeah.
It's not money in and of itself, and I think
it's putting it as a god over your life.
Yeah, and I think that's a prevailing revelation that we generally understand now, that it's not money that is evil. It is the love of it. It's our perspective of it that becomes holy and unholy, that becomes good and bad. If we use it as a tool to do evil, if we use it as a tool to take advantage of people, if we will do any and everything and walk over and step over any and everybody to get it, that's always a problem, and that's downright sin and disobedience. But if we have a lot of money and we're using it for the right things, we're taking care of our family, we're investing, we're sowing into ministries, we're investing in businesses, we're uplifting, we're helping others, we're doing all the good things. That in and of itself is good. But Paul says, don't trust in it though. Meaning that my whole hope can't rise and fall on whether I have money or not.
Right.
And I'll just say for me, I've been there where I saw $0 or $5 or whatever, and I saw the bank and I thought I had this and it was actually lower and whatever the case would be, and I'd be like, man, I feel like I was like, man, I'm bummed.
Yeah.
I've been there to where I was like, man, I'm broke. I ain't got it. Like, I'm bummed out. But had to learn over time, like, man, your hope can't rise and fall on whether you have money or not. And there are some things that money does fix. Yeah. There are some things that money does solve. There are some things that money can take care of, but there are a lot of things that money cannot buy. And there are a lot of things that money cannot solve. And there are a lot of things that money cannot fix. And so someone being rich or someone being poor doesn't make them holy or unholy, but it does allow us to, it's kind of like what Jesus says too. It's harder for those who are rich to enter the kingdom. He says harder than a camel going through the eye of a needle, right? And I think the whole prevailing point of that, I've heard this one commentary that says the eye of the needle wasn't like the literal needle. It was like a place. I have to research this a little more, so y'all don't. But it was like a place in the walls, I believe, of the city, to where the camels would have to get really low in order to get through it. That's good. But so he's saying is like the camel has to get real low and go through that place. You can do it, but it's got to go low. And it's basically saying that about if you have wealth, if you have rich, if you have influence, if you have power, it's like you can still enter the kingdom. You can still live holy and righteous, but you got to be willing to get low. You got to be willing to humble yourself. You got to be willing to stay grounded. And that's really the great revelation from that, is that no matter where we are, whether you're rich, whether you're poor, and more so this is for those who are rich, those who are wealthy, if you're doing well, like how do you stay grounded in that? How do you now not allow the finances to go to your head? How do you stay in a place where, God, I'm still trusting you. Yes, I'm a millionaire. I'm a billionaire. I'm doing well. Things are going great financially in my life, but I know who's still my God, who's still my Lord. And I know, where did all this blessing come from? Where did all this money come from? It came from the Lord. That's really the main encouragement. So,
no, so I was.
You was bringing it up.
Yeah, because like as you were talking, I had a thought.
Yeah.
And then it It left.
It's all good.
It was about something you had said on Sunday, and I was trying to recall it.
Yeah.
It's gone.
Well, it's gone. I mean, but and that's okay.
I'm sorry.
But our money we got to trust in God with it. We have to do good with this. One thing we talked about, and build a good foundation, right? What am I doing today to build a foundation for the future, for my children, for my grandchildren, for the next generations, right? The money that I have, it shouldn't just stop with me, but it should leave I should be able to leave a legacy
for your grandchildren.
And we talked about that, like what would have happened? And I know for some of you guys are older or not or whatever, or younger. Like if I know my grandparents all of them are passed away now, but I was like, man, what would have happened if my grandfather or grandmother would have left me when I was 20 years old? When my grandmother was the last one that passed. I think I was 28. I was 28. I was like 28 when my grandmother passed away. What would have happened if she would have left me $100,000? Like, and that would have been an amazing thing to propel us forward, right? And no shade to my grandmother, because she left me more than just money and legacy. But what would happen? I'll say for me, if I could leave my grandkids or my kids $100, $200, $300, $500, $1 million, or pay for a house or property, like that sets them up for generations to come. And that's really what it is for us to, like, now that we know better, like how can we do better to leave a better legacy?
I remember what I was gonna say.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say that when you opened the message on Sunday, I thought it was really great when you were saying, like, we like to give God and talk to God about, our health, our children, our families, and all of that. But the one thing we can't seem to, like, let go of and give to God is, like, our money.
Yeah.
And because we have made it some type of, like, I mean, we rely on it, but we have made it too much.
Yeah, we've made it off limits to God.
Yes.
Like, God, no, I got this. You take care of, my family, my kids, all that stuff.
But I got the money piece.
Yeah.
Until we don't have no money, and now we crying and, like, praying about it.
Right.
But
God help me. But it's like I was trying to help you when you had it. Like, let me get in it while you got it. Even before you get it, let me get into your thinking about it. That way, when you get it, you'll know how to manage it the way He says manage it.
Exactly. Yeah. And for some reason with money, we all have this, like, weird, like, I don't need relationship with money. Yeah. But I think that was just a good reminder of, like, you can't ask God to help you and to trust God with certain things, but then have certain things also off limits.
Right.
Like, He literally, if you're saying that He is Lord over your life, if you're saying that He is the provider for you, you have to literally give Him the kids and the money.
Right.
Give Him your health and your bills.
Right.
Give Him everything, not just small little pieces because you feel like you can handle the money. Yeah. And He needs to just do the stuff that, I think we talked about this. Like, I can do this piece. You do the stuff that I can't deal with. And it's like, no, God doesn't operate like that. Like, He wants to be over everything.
All of it.
He is Lord over your life, not Lord over certain little things.
Right. And then I'll let you handle that by yourself. It's like, no, let me be involved in all of it. Let me get God's opinion, not God's opinion rather, but God's mind is what I meant to say. Yeah. Let's get God's mind on everything, including our wallets as well. And there are many times, as you said too, is that people will say, oh, God, just be in my life, come into my life, come into my heart. God, transform me, get me free from sin, get me free from addiction, get me, help my marriage be good. We see an eye to eye, but no, don't talk to me about tithing. What tithe? That's my money. What I'm supposed to do? Don't talk to me about giving. Don't talk to me about helping nobody. Don't talk to me about, staying out of debt. The Bible talks about that. The borrower is slave to the lender. Don't talk to me about that because I got all these credit cards, all that stuff, right? And so, but like you said, and like we said to wrap this up, is that God, your will be done, not just in some parts of my life, but in every area, including that bank account as well.
Yeah. And then if you do make it to a point where you are making, like, a substantial amount of money, you have to realize that in the Bible it says the Lord is the one that gives you the ability to create wealth and to get the money. Yep. So it's like you can't get the money and then be like, I got it now. Right. So, like, I'm good. I'm good on that. Like, absolutely. You have to still continue to understand that, like, no, like, I have to still keep surrendering and continue to keep seeking God and asking for guidance and understanding and, like, give Him that as well. Yeah. Because now that I have the money, Lord, what do you want me to do with it?
Right. Absolutely.
Like, what community should I help with this? Who can I help with that will maybe get them closer to you?
Right. Absolutely.
That is all.
That's good. Well, that's our refresh. I hope y'all enjoyed that. It's good to be back with y'all again. Hey, check out our nice shirts. I got now. Archer got the joints. We got them for sale at church. If y'all forgot, I think they're $20 at church in our welcome center. So get our rock shirts. We repping. I got now. This was like a little one I got. Just as I was. I think I was testing them out.
You were.
Yeah. So I just got this
an orange one, but.
Yeah, so we don't have any more orange ones, so
it's kind of traffic cone-ish.
Yeah, I mean, so next time I get a little more like burnt orange. This is kind of bright.
I think a burnt.
This joint popping off the couch right now, but we got the black joint, so we gonna get some new merch here at some point. But yeah, so we'll be back with y'all. See y'all this Sunday, 10 a.m. for service. If you're in Raleigh, come check us out in person
at 240 Newton Road,
Suite 103. We're there for 4 or 5 more months. So yeah, we hope to see y'all this Sunday for service. All right.
See you later.
Peace.